Um, Lost in all of this euphoria of qualifying for the World Cup is probably the fact that we still have a game to play on Thursday. Even Coach Allen was kind of thrown. I mean, a little bit of medyo ano siya na thrown off siya konti because so what about the South Korean game? And honestly, I'm not even thinking about South Korea at the moment. But we're playing South Korea on Thursday. And South Korea, incidentally, Natasha, is you mentioned is the team that knocked us out in the 2018 Asian Cup, which the final slot of the World Cup went to them. So there's sort of a revenge factor going on there, and another team that we haven't beaten. So, what do you think our chances are against South Korea? I mean, again, a higher ranked team, a much higher ranked team, a stronger team as well. But who can count out the women's team right now?
Yeah, honestly, it's going to be a tough task at hand. But with the track record of the Philippine women's national team, it's not impossible. We've been making history, beating Thailand for the first time, making it to the quarterfinals for the first time, making it to the semifinals for the first time, making it to the World Cup for the first time. I wouldn't be surprised if we can pull out a stunner out of this game against Korea. Though at the same time, Korea is ranked in the top 20 of the world. And whether we win or lose, as we everyone has been talking about, it doesn't matter because we've already reached our goal, which is to make it to the World Cup. So we just need to use this game as the gauge to see how well and what else we need to improve on when it comes to the World Cup. Because as you said, when we played Australia, there was it was a mid game and we didn't play our strongest 11. Let's say our strongest 11. All of them were capable. We didn't play our strongest 11. So now we want to see with our strongest 11 up against Korea, how far are we? Where's the margin? What can we improve on? And how we can build from this. So this is just our gauge to see how we can perform in the World Cup. And I'm sure that if Coach Tad stays longer, that's how he's going to view this game. It's already the first preparation, your first practice game for the World Cup.
Ceres,
Definitely.
Ceres, any predictions against
Uh,
South Korea?
None of us got our predictions correct, by the way. None of us wanted penalties against Chinese Taipei. I think that at this point in time, I mean, nothing is impossible for this team anymore. I mean, we're already in the World Cup, guys. That's kind of it, right? But uh, realistically, again, Korea has players who play for the ladies teams of Chelsea and
Women's
Arsenal.
Super League, the Women's Super League, which is
Yes,
the women's version of the English Premier League.
Yeah, the EPL. So that's like, okay, let's try our best, girls. I mean, again, let's try our best because we want to see how much we need to improve on. That's the thing. Like, right? Because next year we're in the World Cup. And I think that's what it's going to keep on coming back to. It's going to be like, yeah, what do you think is going to happen? Well, we're going to do our best, but we're already in the World Cup. And I wouldn't. I mean, we saw the game against Australia, right? Again, maybe not the best, strongest starting 11. I don't know. Maybe that's what Coach Allen is going to do again. We don't know, right? And maybe even if we don't start what is supposed to be our strongest 11, maybe we get a good result. Maybe not a win, but a great result, right? And at this point, again, anything after qualifying for the World Cup is gravy. I said yeah, dessert, but yeah, gravy. You know what I mean? You don't really expect it. You don't really need it calorically, probably, but it's there and it's great. And can I just say something else that also gets lost in the thing is how much support the women's team has gotten this round, like these past few months. And I'm not saying it's because of the Philippine Women's Football Association, but I'm actually surprised at how much support the team has gotten because there are how many of us, Tash, working in the like just promoting, like messaging as many people as we can and stuff like that, and the turnout has been amazing. And we've been getting, we got a message from the vice president earlier. Was it yesterday? We got one from
Yeah.
Senator Pacquiao. And I mean, yeah, if everybody from show business, all of the other sports have been super supportive, and like the music business. Special shout out to Yael and Karil. They're super gracious enough to have the women's team use their music. And then, like, yeah, I mean, people who would probably normally not be football fans, like, they understand the gravity of the situation, right? And even before we qualified, they were already there. They were, even if it's just online support, it's support. And I think that we were chatting with Olivia after the match until the wee hours of the morning. Nobody could sleep, and she was saying that especially for the last match, because they're tired, guys. They've been at camp since November. They're physically, bodily tired. But she said that what, like, even just seeing it, obviously there's no people in the stadiums, seeing the support online has made the difference in how they're playing. And I think that people who are watching this, people who are listening to this, it matters. Even if it's quote unquote just online, the support that they see, the support that they hear matters to them as well. So that's one of the things that I was surprised about, how much support that they got, and B, that we can do more, guys. We can show them more support. And that's me. That's all I have to say.
But Natasha, the support has been like sort of bubbling under the surface because 2019, we talked about the Binyan Sea Games. I'm sure the crowd there was, if we had people in the stands in India, maybe some supporters would have been able to go to India as well. So that support has been bubbling under the surface. And I think as of the moment, no one can begrudge the support and the attention and the mileage that the team has been getting.
Yes, definitely. And we just hope that it continues to translate as well into more funding,
Yeah,
more
support.
sponsorship,
Yes.
and more to the development of women's football in the Philippines on the local level, grassroots level, to the women's league, and as well as to the continued support for the potential of women's football in the Philippines. We hope that this game really shows everyone that women's football is worth fighting for. We welcome more people to continuously help us to be a part, to play an active role in creating the change that we want to see in the culture of Philippine football. And more than anything, actually, I think one thing that we forgot to mention was that we really have to give it to the whole coaching staff, to the delegation, and as well as to the players. They've been training for 3 months. They didn't go home for Christmas. They didn't spend New Year with they were together. And with all that hard work and sacrifice and dedication, it translated to results. So nothing that's worthwhile ever comes easy. So remember that. And that these girls deserve all the attention, all the support, and all the bonuses that we hope to come, because that's how much they've sacrificed to be able to be where they are right now. And they continue to make us proud. And again, this is just the beginning, because next year we're going to the World Cup.
Just before we let you go, and thank you for your time. For the World Cup? No, we will participate next year. But what do you want personally to see uh, uh, happen to Philippine and women's football in particular by us participating in the World Cup? You want to see, as you said, more sponsors, more grassroots programs. But anything else you want to add? Because obviously qualifying for this big stage doesn't come every year, and obviously the mileage that's gonna be generated is gonna be off the charts. Anything?
Yeah, go ahead, Ceres.
Oh, well, you already mentioned like grassroots. I want. Okay, I have a checklist actually of what I want. World Cup, Women's World Cup, definitely TV coverage, free TV coverage of all our matches for the World Cup. And then maybe if we can have, like, not just the TV coverage. We've seen it with the other teams as well, right? Men's teams, volleyball. They have somebody there following them. The other media from not just the coverage, um, uh, broadcaster. We want the girls in the from the Philippines in the Women's World Cup to have as much coverage as they can, because they deserve it, right? Um, that, and then second is more opportunities for girls to play. Yes, grassroots development. Yes, what's this, coaching for girls. Also, and I think Natasha's already touched on this, a women's league where players can go. It doesn't have to be professional at once. I'm realistic about these things. I think that if we have uh, a league where the girls who are playing in high school, the girls who are playing in college, they can look. The PFF already started. There was a women's league, and then the pandemic happened. But an expanded women's league, and then eventually down the road, a few years, professional league where the little girls now who see that we qualified for the World Cup, they can see that, hey, these volleyball players, for example, the basketball players, the men's football teams, they're making, this is their life, this is their living. So that's also part of the dream. Like, okay, we get to the World Cup, it kind of is, I hope, a domino effect. Like a few years down the road, again, we didn't think this would happen really this early in our lifetime, right? That we qualify for the World Cup. But a professional women's league, and then so all of these little girls who play can say that, can dream of playing professionally, because why not, right? And then continuous support. We can't make the next Asian Cup, we can't make the next World Cup if the support is not continuous and sustainable. So yeah, that's my that's what I want to see during and after the World Cup.
Yes, and I just like to add last as well is that more local based players making it as
Oh, yeah.
well, and that will only happen, as you said, with that support and sustainability. So you're not going to see that if we don't give them the same chances to succeed as the girls who are playing abroad, because the girls playing abroad are getting match fitness, match sharpness, because they're getting the right amount of games plus all throughout the year. And while our girls, though they are talented, how can they hone their skills? There's only so much training can do. We need match-like preparations and match games for them to really be able to continuously develop and to get better. And so we hope that all of this, winning the World Cup,
Pwede naman. We can have that. Pwede naman.
grabe na yung manifestation ko, but like, that knowing that we made it to the World Cup, that it translates to the sport in building the potential of players in the Philippines. And we hope that the foreign-based players, after their playing career or even during, come back here to the Philippines as well and to help the next generation. We hope that it really is a full cycle of cause and effect, and that we hope that the potential of Filipino players, of the Filipinas, will be taken care of, just so that we can continuously be in the World Cup.
And
Amen.
on that, amen. And on that note, we'd like to thank everyone for watching. And on behalf of Natasha Alquiros and Ceres Lina, I am Ryan Phoenix, and we'd like to wish all of you safety from COVID, and we'd like to wish the women's football team success, not just in the World Cup, but first of all in the semis against South Korea, and maybe, as Natasha said, maybe we can win the World Cup one day. We never know. But thank you very much for joining us. And Laban Filipinas.
Thank you.